Hello, and welcome back to the Modeling Success in Action podcast. I'm your host, Jessica, and today I am joined by Randy Rosales. So, Randy is the founder and CEO of Freelance Latin America, a North American staffing agency that removes the friction from hiring remote workers by providing fully managed, highly skilled virtual professionals from across Latin America. He founded the company in 2017 to connect the incredible talent pool in Latin America with better work opportunities, driven by his personal experience during a severe economic crisis in Venezuela. Today, Randy empowers North American business owners to grow their companies and buy back their time while simultaneously creating life-changing opportunities for professionals in Latin America. Welcome, Randy.
Thank you so much for having me here. This is exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. And you know what? I was just talking about your business yesterday because
Mhm.
I had my husband he's starting his own business. He's been in partnership for a couple years with somebody, and some of his business partners have other businesses and they use some virtual assistants and stuff. But some of the ones that are based in Vancouver are like, it's a really high cost because people are going, well, I want it to be professional. I want it to have the tone that I'm looking for. I want it to be perfect English. So they're paying something like $70 an hour for this virtual assistant. I'm like, some people in like managerial positions aren't getting $70 an hour to make a social media post or like send out a newsletter. I'm like, what's happening here? That sounds crazy. And I was like, that's crazy, especially when you could get it for like a fraction of the cost. And his first question was, yeah, but are those people being treated well? Are they being paid fairly? So that's totally a valid question. So I think that is exactly the gap that you're filling in the market, right, Randy?
Yeah, exactly. And from personal experience, I was experiencing like working as a lawyer in 2017. Life was going well when suddenly shit hit the fan, hyperinflation took over the economy, and working as the company first virtual assistant saved my life and my family's future. And this is my why. That's what I want to provide life-changing opportunities to as many professionals as I can across Latin America. And you can find smart people all over the world.
Yeah.
And professionals are exist all over the world. The key is the vetting process. So you're able
Mm.
to attract top talent. And then after you attract them, you need to onboard them. You need to set them up for success with the KPIs, job description, SOPs, feedback process, disciplinary action process if things get off track. And it's all about, and you will face these issues whether you're working with someone locally or remote.
Okay. So then what is your burning desire when it comes to this whole direction that you've pointed yourself in now?
Yeah, so I have, and it's funny because we both belong to this organization, BNI, and they ask you this kind of weird question in the BNI worksheets. And what I wrote down there is that I want to become president of Venezuela in 30 years. And luckily, the countdown has already started. We are seeing kind of the beginning of the end of their dictatorship situation in Venezuela. And now, luckily, I think this 30-year time frame has already started. And I want to position myself as someone that has provided life-changing opportunities to professionals, not just in Venezuela, but across Latin America, and not kind of this slave type of work relationships. So we show it in our social media. Our professionals, our virtual assistants, they get to buy cars for them. They get to live independently. They get to travel across Latin America, going to concerts. They've been to the Bad Bunny concert in Colombia, in Argentina. And I love seeing that. I love seeing them grow, travel the world, work from our different offices across Latin America with their same clients. They take the computer that we provide with them and they travel all around and they make sure that they work with our clients from our offices or from secure space with a secure work equipment, and they get to enjoy life. And you wouldn't be able to do that if you wouldn't get paid well. So that's extremely important for us, and that's why we have people that has been working with us for 7 years, 6 years, 5 years, because they are being treated well. They feel valued, they feel heard, and they feel well taken care of economically too.
Hmm. I love that you're like, I want to be the president, so I have to take care of people, right? Which is
Yeah,
not
for sure.
necessarily most politicians' perspective.
Yeah, it's a long-term goal, right? So I'm building this one step at a time, and it's a long-term goal.
Yeah. So, okay. So then how how do you how do you know when it's time to have a little bit of extra support when you're in your business? Because you were, I mean, it's so funny because you were working as a lawyer, right? And then you're saying that, you had this transition and it really opened your eyes to the possibilities. But like, I'm sure as you've grown and scaled your business, you're having more and more and more and more people like in the company working for you and doing work for Freelance Latin America that's like for Freelance Latin America. So like, how do you know when it's time to get support? What's that look
When you
like?
are overwhelmed, when you're
Yeah.
working 14, 16 hours a day, when
Yeah.
you're missing dinners with your family, when you're dropping dead sleep on your keyboard because you cannot do it any longer, that's your wake up call. That's when you say, hey, you need to stop doing $10 an hour task if you want to build a $1 million company. And you need to focus on the higher value, higher leverage tasks and delegate all the rest. Because otherwise, you're going to get burned out. You're going to start hating your business and not
Mhm.
enjoying building it and growing it because the pain is so much, it's so big that you just prefer to self sabotage it and subconsciously sabotage your business because the pain is too big to endure the growth of the business.
Yeah,
So in
it's
my
too
case,
uncomfortable to keep it that way. Yeah.
yes, because it all depends on you. And that's why, as business owners, we're the bottleneck. And the bottleneck is because we're in the top of the bottle. So
Mhm.
we need to delegate, we need to hire people who we trust and delegate with clarity, with ownership, with accountability, with clear systems, clear KPIs, clear job description. Delegate the things that we don't enjoy doing, the things that don't make us that much money, but things that are super important to get done. So, for example, 8 years ago, I started the company. I was wearing all the hats, doing everything myself, billing, accounts receivable, accounts payable, running payroll for my team, recruiting, interviewing people, meeting with clients. I was doing sales. We didn't have any marketing material. It was all through referrals, and we only had like 2, 3 clients back then. But I was doing everything like service delivery, all the operation. And then the first position that I hired was a finance manager. So she took care of bookkeeping. She took care of payroll for me. She took care of the accounts receivable, the billing, the accounts payable. And that alone bought me back 20 hours a week. So instead of working 60 hours a week, I started working 40 hours a week just by hiring this person full time. And she was doing a much better job than I was because she's an accountant. She's qualified for that. She enjoys dealing with numbers and spreadsheets. And right now, you couldn't pay me enough money to go back to that and do bookkeeping or spreadsheets or billing. You couldn't pay me enough to do it. So I was doing something that I didn't enjoy and that I was sucking up my time and my energy. As soon as I hired her, she did a better job than I did. She was wearing only that hat, so clients would get a quicker response. Cash flow was flowing consistently. I wouldn't miss the deadlines to issue an invoice, and everything was just running smoother. And then I started hiring a recruitment team. So I didn't have to do the interviews myself or the vetting process myself. And this team, well, they were psychologists. They were prepared for it. That's what they studied for. It was their zone of genius. And I focused only on clients' relationships, on sales, on traveling to the US, going to hosting lunch and learns there, meeting with clients, knocking on doors. And that made the company grow. When the
Mhm.
business owner focuses on what makes the company grows faster. But in order to do that, we need to delegate the things that are sucking up our energy and our time. And if we can't afford to delegate them locally, then there are more people, smart people, and talented all over the world who will die to get a US dollars or Canadian dollar paying job opportunity because it will help them overcome hyperinflation and currency depreciation in their local countries. And it will give them above market rates compared to the local market where they're living at. And because cost of living is significantly lower in these countries, it's a win win deal for both parties involved.
Mhm. And I also really appreciate that you were like, "And she's gonna do a better job than me," because a lot of the time, I think that when people who are running a company or maybe it was a sole proprietorship and then they're like they're taking so much ownership of all of it and they're like, "Only I can do it and it's gotta be done my way and it has to be exactly how I would do it." So, like, being able to realize, "Hey, maybe someone can do it better than you.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they're not a professional in their area, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, for example, why am I doing my social media when I can hire a social media specialist? Why am
Mhm.
I doing bookkeeping when I can hire an accountant or a bookkeeper? Why am I doing recruitment when I can hire a specialist recruiter who prepare, study, and has work experience only in that field? Why am I wearing all the hats when I can delegate all the hats to somebody else and stay on my lane, in my zone of genius, do only what I find energizing and what makes my time worth. And I know trust is an issue
Mhm.
because we are unique individuals. Nobody else is going to, we think it's a limiting belief, right? We think that nobody else will care as much as we do. Nobody else will treat our clients as well as we do. But that's a limiting belief. Why? Because what people need is ownership on the role. And to have ownership, they need clarity. They need a clear job description that tells them, hey, this is what you own. This is the outcome that I expect from you. And we have, if we set clear expectations, they know what they are going to be held accountable for. And then number two, KPIs. If you just hire someone, you don't tell them what to do, you don't tell them what success looks like. Of course, they're going to suck at their job, right? Because you didn't give them the you didn't set them up for success. You didn't give them the guardrails. KPIs is very important. Tell them what success looks like. What are their measurables? What are their scorecards? What success looks like for them in their role, what they have to do every single day to be successful, every single week, every single month. And then you need to check in on them. It's not that you plug in, play, and you forget about them. You need to do monthly check-ins, like let's meet, what's working, what's not working, how can I help you to do a better job. That's our role as a leader, to help people do a better job and get off their way, right? Trust in them that they can do a better job than us because that's the only hat they're wearing, and they study and they prepare for it. And then number three, SOPs. If we don't have any systems or documentations on how we want things to get done, guess what? People are going to do it in a different way every single time. No consistency, no
Mhm.
clarity, no clear procedures. So that's why SOPs, systems are super important and help you train people and onboard them on how you want things to get done in your company. And if they don't do it that way, you can review if there is an SOP problem. Maybe you need to redo your checklist, your playbook, and refine it and retweak it and just train them again on it. Or it's a people's problem. And then maybe you didn't find the right fit for that position. But you
Mhm.
will never know that until you have clear your description with outcomes and expectations, clear SOPs, so you tell them what success looks like, and sorry, clear KPIs and clear SOPs, so you tell them how you want things to get done in your company. And then it comes the fun part: the onboarding, the training, the check-ins, the monthly meetings, the quarterly reviews, the annual performance reviews, and you need to put all of this in place if you want your local or remote hire to be successful.
Mhm. Yeah, so, like, the way that you're describing this, it really is like, you gotta set up the expectations and then have some faith for a period of time, then check in. And
Yes.
then adjust, have some faith for a period of time, let something happen for a period of
Hmm.
time, and then check in, right? Like, so whether you're doing that quarterly or you're doing that, at the end of like a trial period or whatever, right? Like, it is like, that's the same in all relationships, right? Like, this,
Yes.
it really making me think of, like, people who are in romantic relationships because they're like, I want him to change. I told him to stop, leaving his socks around or whatever, right? Like, you got to, like, set up the expectation, have some faith that it's going to happen, let the thing play out, and then reassess. Hey, do you want to keep, like, has he changed it? Do you want to keep dating the guy who leaves his socks everywhere? Or, like, do you need a new guy?
Yeah.
Like, right? So that's kind of cool. The having some faith, is having some trust around it to get
Yeah.
where you need to go.
Yeah, you need to
Yeah.
trust them
Yeah.
that they will have the authority and the ownership to do a good job because they want to keep the job, because they don't feel entitled. They feel super grateful to have this job opportunity and they will do whatever it takes to keep it, right? And that's what I like about Latin American talent, because you don't see these high paying job opportunities so often. They do their very best, their 110% mile just to keep the job. And in North
Mhm.
America, because there is more opportunity, there is also more job hopping,
Mhm.
and rotation is higher because if you get fired or you resign, you can find another good, well-paying job somewhere else. right? It's easier. In Latin America, because it's less opportunity, they tend to value more these kind of opportunities working with North American clients. And touching base on trust, I always tell my team, we will give you the authority and the trust to scratch the car, but never to total the car. So
Mhm.
you have to give them the trust to run around with an assignment and do it as best as they can. And probably it won't be 100% as great as you could do it yourself, but 80% done by somebody else is 100% freaking awesome to you.
Yeah.
Like not missing
Seriously.
dinner with your family, 100% freaking awesome. Not being answering emails at 10 p.m. in the evening, 100% freaking awesome. Not missing your family birthdays or your son's soccer game because you are stuck doing admin work, 100% freaking awesome.
Mhm.
So if they do it at 80% of how you will do it, then you give them feedback, you adjust your SOP, but then you let them scratch the car as long as they don't total it
Right.
because you're getting your time back.
And I love that, like, like, the expecting it to be 100% is also imagining that you've been driving the car without scratching it. Like,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
come on. Like, I I made a poster for an event that's coming up in my clinic that I've been advertising for, like, a month now, and yesterday it's been out for, like, I had this poster, like, all over my clinic, I've shared it. There are, like, 2 glaring typos, like, big typos on them. Nobody pointed it out. I didn't know. It took me a month to notice that there was these typos. So it's like, I'm not like, we're busy business professionals. We've got all this stuff going on. Like, there's no way that
Mhm.
everything that's happening is perfect, right? Like, I have clients all the time being like, "Hey, you said you were gonna email me this thing. Can you actually send it?" "Oh, yeah, I forgot." Like, I have 20 different hats that I'm wearing. There are things
Exactly.
that, you know so being able to trust that, okay, this person, there might be a few dings and scrapes, but they're learning, and it's gonna be okay. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're saving you time and energy. That's the main thing,
totally.
right?
Yeah. So you kind of got into a little bit of like culturally how they're treating the job, but are you noticing any other like cultural differences, between building a business in Latin America versus being here in Canada?
Yeah, so that's funny. Uh, when I moved, so our company has been incorporated in the US since we started, and most of our clients are in the US. Before I moved into Canada in January last year, we had just one client in Toronto, one client in Quebec, and that was it. Nobody in the West Coast. So I moved to the Metro Vancouver area, and I started getting traction and getting clients here too. But something particular that I noticed is that I've talked to many people about it. Some tell me that, oh, maybe it's a West Coast thing versus East Coast thing. But here people are kind of laid back.
Mm,
They want their space. Like in the US, if you don't follow up with people, like with potential clients, they think you're lazy. They think that you don't want their business. They expect you to follow up. Here is more than, oh, give them a space, give them time, they will figure it out. So people here, if you follow up too frequently, they kind of feel harassed. So they kind of
mm,
take a step back. That's kind of a cultural differences that I've noticed between doing business in the US and now here in the west coast of Canada. And and yeah, so sometimes people know that they have what the right decision is. They have all the information. They have everything on their table to make the decision, but they just stall and they delay
mhm,
the decision and they delay it, and then it comes the summer and they shut their business down for a whole month because Canada is so beautiful, especially in the west coast during the summer. Those just people go outdoors and they shut their business down, and that was kind of impressive for me. Like, uh, I'm a very huge advocate of family life and integrating your business life and your business to your with your family whenever possible. And I also love taking time off with the family, but the business is still running. Like I have a team welcoming, onboarding new clients, onboarding new staff, and the machine keeps running and operating. And I notice here that yeah, people just shut their business down. So like many people during the summer and during the Christmas season, and they say, yeah, just time to reconnect and to go outside and to go spend time with your loved ones, which I like, I love, I resonate with that, and I do it like I did it. I took 3 weeks off during Christmas, but the business kept running. If I didn't have someone in place to keep the business running, I wouldn't have taken time off right?
Mhm. Or you'd be on your phone
So
while you're on vacation, right? It wouldn't be fully
exactly.
time off. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So those are the little things that I've noticed between doing business in the US and now in the west coast of Canada. And yeah, in Latin America, for example, people are very family oriented and they also like to feel valued in the workplace. So something cool that we do is that every time they have birthdays, we send them a birthday cake and a birthday card with our clients' messages on them, handwritten by our HR team. And then everyone else in their team, the local team, sends them a message, and we celebrate their birthdays, we celebrate their work anniversaries, we celebrate their big milestones. And they love that because in Latin American culture, celebration and recognition is huge. Um, so you have also Latin American friends. You know how much we love to party, to
Mhm.
dance, to get together and enjoy life, and that's why we've created the company also around that. We have happy hours on Fridays by our office swimming pool, so they can enjoy and relax at the office swimming pool, and we do a lot of community activities. We are very outgoing, do a lot of community events. Um, um, Christmas parties are the best, like people dancing and celebrating. And I realized that here in Canada, people are more chill. Like they prefer to stay at home or be outdoors in natures, but they are not these party animals that you see in Latin America. Those people are more chill. What I've noticed, and like when I've been to parties here, most of the time it's just people talking. Just people
Mhm.
talking. Nobody's dancing,
Yeah.
and just people talking, chatting. And then if the party is scheduled for 3 hours, at the third hour, everyone's gone.
Everybody goes home,
Everybody
right?
goes home.
Yeah.
It
It's
doesn't happen in
interesting.
Latin America. In Latin
It's
America,
interesting.
our Christmas parties they could last until 4 a.m. in the morning after 8 hours straight of partying, and then people say, "Okay, where we're going next?"
It's true. My girlfriend from Venezuela, she very frequently and like she and I are the same age. And I'm in bed by 10 and she's like, "Oh, I didn't get home till 4." I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm just with people." Like you're enjoying each other, right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's interesting to me that you're saying, "Oh, Canadians are more chill." I don't know if it's chill. I think it's that we are more in our heads and less in our bodies, right? We're more here and we're not in the experience of connecting with each other, with being in our senses. I feel like there's a lot more self awareness, like in a judgmental, way where we're
yeah.
aware of ourselves. And I think that also is, when you're saying that the Canadians don't want to be followed up with as much, maybe it's like that, well, I want to say no, but or maybe I feel bad and I'm feeling like a bad person. And it's that Canadian kind of sorry attitude, right? And so they're like, well, if you just leave me alone, then I don't have to be the bad guy, right? And it's interesting because the way that you're painting it, I can kind of see how, the Latin American community is kind of working from their senses and love and like openness and like the trust that like, yeah, if I say no, we're still gonna be friends. Versus like in Canada,
Exactly.
like if I say no, it's over, right? And it's like this final thing. It's like a nail in the coffin kind of thing. Is how it feels. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see that painted in a picture.
Yeah, and people are
Mhm.
also more reserved here, right? They are more
Yes.
respectful, they are super
Mhm.
polite, they are
Mhm.
more reserved, and that
Yep.
also, yeah, makes them more self-centered
Yes.
than when they're relating with others.
Mhm.
And yeah, so those are just kind of the cultural nuances that you see when you've lived in Latin America and then in the
Yeah.
US and you do business in the US and now in Canada. So
So you've had to change the way that you interact with people then since coming up here then, yeah?
yeah, for sure. You adapt to the culture and the environment where you're at. And those are the first lessons that I learned last year of doing business here. Just give people the space. When they're ready, they're calm. And in just one year of being here, we've got 17 new clients. So it's
Wow.
more than one client per month. And these are monthly recurring subscriptions. So it's not that one-off projects. These are monthly recurring subscriptions. We've been doing well business wise once we moved. And these are also 17 amazing life changing job opportunities for our people in Latin America that are
Mhm.
now better off working with North American companies. So it's been great, but I've learned that give people space and time.
Mhm. Okay. So before we wrap things up here, I want to kind of throw it back to you and your model of the world, and how you've had these discoveries and moved through them, and you're seeing that trust is such an integral part. So if the people who've been listening along with us right now, if they want to step into your model of the world, if they want to try on what it's like to feel like Randy and to, be like, I want to be the president, so that means I have to take care of people, right? Like if they want to have your attitude, what's the first step? What's something they can do right away to start modeling you?
Take action. Don't sit on it for too long. If you know something is the right way to do it, if you know that this the right decision in your heart, just take action. Stop postponing it. Stop procrastinating. Just take action. Do it messy. Do it imperfect. Do it
Scratch the car.
incomplete. Scratch the car, but just take action. Get up your shit and do it. Just do it because. Running around it with the idea on your head won't take you anywhere, and you will regret it when you're in your when you're about to die, right? So just take action, default to action every single time that you can.
I love it. Take action. And with that, I'm going to leave it here so that people can go and take some action. So thank you so much for being here, Randy. If anybody wants to be in contact with him, or if they're going, I want to buy back some of my time, I'm going to leave all of his details in the caption below. You can reach out to Randy or Freelance Latin America. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, appreciate you.